Hello everyone, welcome back to All This for $10. I'm MLYP. We're talking about internet history from a dead gay comedy forum. You know, something awful, that one. Today we're going to be going through a tale of shit, jizz, explosions, and severed fingers. We're going to be talking about all of those things. It's going to be a bit messy. Look, this is a moderator challenge gone wrong. This is people doing things for clout on an internet forum. It only escalates. Like, as always, goons will do everything under the sun if it's going to be funny. So, without further ado, you're welcome to join me for the time someone fucked their entire hand up with roadkill thermite. Hello everybody, welcome back to All This for $10. My name is Cameron, MLYP, many names, it depends on where you find me. Today we're, like I said in the cold intro, we're talking about shit, jizz, explosions, and a severed fingat. The Gamecube mod challenge gone wrong. Warning before we start, I'm talking about shit, I'm talking about poop, I'm talking about gore. You can hear my dog drinking some water in the background, probably. I'm going to try and audio edit her out. She's thirsty. Look, I've found that people want to know what your pets are up to. Pets are okay coming into podcasts. As always, like, this is quite a visual heavy episode, so this episode will have an accompanying guide. Wow, she's still drinking. Girl.
Thirsty girl.
So I reference her a lot. She's Lily the podcasting hound. She's an 8-year-old retired greyhound that I adopted a year ago after she broke her leg and bred a couple of litters of puppies. So she's my dog now, learning how to be a pet. So, introductions. I am joined today by Johnny Armazich, aka Dr. Venkman. He is a writer at Hard Drive Magazine and the host of Culture Dumpster. Hi, Johnny. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing well. I really love the picture that you selected here for the slideshow.
The excellent front-facing, like, faux hawk fringe emo.
That is from an emo night in 2018 or 19. It's pre-COVID.
It's beautiful.
I'm pretty sure. It's me
one
and my wife.
Favorites.
As you said, I am Johnny Amazich, aka Dr. Venkman. I write for the video game satire site Hard Drive. I also host my own show called Culture Dumpster, which you may be hearing Mr. MLYP on very soon. The concept of my show is it is an internet and pop culture show. So I choose a topic and I find someone to talk to or talk at me about a certain thing.
So we've gone over the who are you. One thing I always ask my guests is, where did you post? And I don't mean that in like the what subforum of Something Awful you posted on. Like when we were recording your show, you said you weren't really a Something Awful member. But when I ask where did you post, it's like, where did you grow up posting? Where was young Johnny when he was surfing the web?
I spent a lot of time in AIM chat rooms, and actually talking to people in the Yahoo games. That they used to have a pool game that I played quite a bit, where I would just chat with the person that I was playing with, and also going into, like I said, chat rooms that I probably had no business being in, considering I was 12 to 14. I was aware of Something Awful. I had friends that used it and would take me there sometimes whenever we would be on the computer together. But I didn't really start posting until I started using Reddit. And even then, I was more of a lurker than a poster. I've only recently, in my mid to late 30s, emerged out of my chrysalis and have made a more forthright effort to be a poster of note or something. I don't know.
Well, rule number one of All This for $10 is no not posting. So congratulations on finally achieving rule number one. Rule number two is no not believing. So no not believing in yourself, no not trying new things, no not posting. But always no not believing, always be believing. Today we're gonna, again, this is a comedy goldmine week. We're going to be talking about Something Awful and the crime of remembering. Something Awful is a 25 plus year old forum. There are so many stories. I keep getting more. I added a little Google Doc submission sheet to my website. I've got like 90 episodes in the can, topics to work on. We got a lot to go through. I'm going to be doing this for a while.
That's one thing that we of content.
It's a lot of stories, and there's so many more that will keep coming out. Something Awful is a long and ancient memory. Like a lot of people will worry that like when you get brutally owned, it'll come back to bite you in years and years in time. Like this is like when we discussed on Culture Dumpster. This is a piece of culture that doesn't happen elsewhere. Like you don't get decades old forums coming out on Reddits where people sit around the campfire. We're going to start with a brief talk about moderator challenges. The moderation on Something Awful is infamously strict. Infamously ban easy. If you take a toe out of line, you're banned. This was a lot more occurrent years ago. Little light-handed now, but still very much the case. Moderator challenges have always been a thing, still are now, but less so. Moderator challenges are traditionally handed out to goons that break rules, like with really shit threads. Like, hey, I'm new, blah, blah, blah. Or they post a thread like this, that we're going to be talking about today. Rule breakers are given the chance of avoiding a ban or probation by redeeming themselves, redeeming their shit thread by completing a challenge roughly related to that topic. So traditionally, there was a triple challenge. You had to do like 3 steps, and the third always involved the OP getting naked and post and hog of some description. Like there's one where it's like someone was told, put meat on your wife's tits. If none of these challenges are met, OP is banned. In 2011, one of the mods went, hey, like all future mod challenges refrain from nudity or partial nudity. There was an infamous event where someone fucked an Erlenmeyer flask.
Yeah. Excuse me?
And we don't want to... someone stuck the dick in an Erlenmeyer flask.
Like, did they lube it up first, or are they just going in dry?
I hope so.
That just seems like...
It's an infamous story I will be covering one day.
Seems like a bad way to get some glass in your dick.
Forums user Twig and Berries fucks an Erlenmeyer flask. It's a very common story. So mod challenges are still done to this day. Ones we won't be covering today is, again, like fucking an Erlenmeyer flask, putting meat on your wife's tits, guy being forced to eat dog food. Many such cases of
I was tricked into eating a dog treat once by my cousin. But I don't think
so
that's
today
we're
talking about the infamous Gamecube thread. If I mention the Gamecube thread to an old goon, they already know what's coming. And we're in 2011. Quite fitting that in 2011, Nintendo had just revealed their newest video game system, the Wii U, which was a kind of mid-sequel to the Nintendo Wii, which is possibly the greatest console of all time after the PS2 in my rankings. Like, if I was making a tier list of consoles, it would be like a knife fight between the Wii and the PS2 for what I think is like the greatest and most influential of all time. Like, especially in sales figures, like the Wii and the PS2
my God.
Constantly fucking fighting each other, right?
But I actually I traded in my PS2 so I could get a GameCube. So I could play Resident Evil 4 and Super Smash Bros. Melee. Which I know was a little bit of a controversial decision with some of my friends.
That is controversial. So forums user DeathTramp has a problem. They have a GameCube. A silver one. If they sell it, they'll get $20. Like, this is before like that huge like retro scalping culture popped up at the moment. You know the one?
Yeah.
So GameCubes are like $20 back then. They were a dime a dozen. Take us back. But they're like, she's asked friends to take them from her. No one wants it. And it's and DeathTramp's a her, which will become relevant later on. So she'd ask Something Awful, what do I do with this GameCube? The initial reactions are concern. It's like, your friend's like, don't hurt the GameCube. Yorgmoss like, hey, send it to me. My fiance stole my GameCube. And Rancor. Rancor is a name I want you to remember, because Rancor will pop up a lot in this thread. I've highlighted his name in red.
That's very threatening looking.
Very threatening, right? Fleshlight Bong. Rancor suggests Fleshlight Bong. Other reactions are like, melted into a Salvador Dali style sculpture and sell it as modern art. Paint it gold, frame it, submit it to some local galleries, like hollow it out and hide weed from your mom. Make a sweet portable laser with a flashlight. Like a real nice one is actually like donating it to like Child's Play or Get Well Gamers.
No,
and, like,
that's not a serious suggestion. These other ones that you listed, much better ideas.
Way more serious. Don't donate it to a kid. Kids don't need video game consoles. They want a GameCube bong, right? Why not just keep it and play games? Is my thought here. Why couldn't you just play Smash Bros? And why can't we just do that? Inevitably, because DeathTramp can't make up her mind, moderator Gravy Jones comes in with a mod challenge. It's like, hey, do one of these things. Do one of these things or I will ban you. Make sure it's funny. So no cheating by just picking throw it in the trash. Something that takes a bit of effort and has a humorous result. You have until I get bored of waiting. So we have a pretty classic mod challenge. Like, just do something fucking funny. And a common thing that I get with these threads is OP's disappeared. DeathTramp has disappeared for a day. A goon will come in, post some insane nonsense, and then fucks off while everyone's on fire yelling at them.
And what percentage would you say of these OPs just never return?
Oh, like not the ones I'm going to talk about, because
Okay.
the ones I talk about, they come back and double down and go further and further down the well, right? But there would be quite a few that do just come back. She eventually does come back and goes, hey, challenge accepted. I'm going to get this done by Sunday. Obviously, people are like, hey, I want you to have sex with it, which is funny. The problem is she can't have sex with it. Everyone's like, stick your dick in it. And she's like, well, I'm a woman. I can't stick my dick in it. I don't have one. Even if I were a dude, there's a lot of scratchy bits. So if I buy a pocket pussy and put it inside the GameCube, I don't think anyone should have sex with it. So, like, I agree. I wouldn't put my dick in a GameCube.
No, not even the expansion port on the bottom. I mean, it's all sharp corners and plastic and silicone. You could easily shred your dick sticking it in this thing.
She does say she could shit in it if the idea falls through, which is, again, ominous.
Don't shit in a
someone
GameCube.
provides a bong blueprint, a spoonful of whoop-ass, like, pulls out MS Paint and, like, makes a blueprint for how to turn this thing into a bong. Bong Cube looks like fun. I love the idea of Bong Cube.
Okay, I can get behind this.
Did you see
one.
it popped up on YouTube for me recently, my recommendation. Someone made art of a PlayStation crustacean, and someone made that real recently. Like, it was a PS1 turned into a little crab.
That's cute.
I think it's just called, it's like PlayStation, which is a great play on words, but someone made it real with like 3D printing, and it's like very cute. But yeah, can they do the same for Game Bong? There's diagrams for how to crush it with your car, for example. Someone's like, drive it up a ramp, put it on some boards so you drive on it and like kill it with that. While OP is off failing, Bloodfart McCoy turns their printer into a bong with images. And I've got them in the follow along guide for everybody. They have turned their old, I don't know what kind of printer this is, but they made it into
let's
a bong.
call it what it is. They put a bong inside of their printer and cut holes for them to be able to smoke out of it. Which,
however, this is more than what OP has done at this point.
That's true.
So give them points.
Okay, yeah, points for effort.
Unfortunately, DeathTramp has failed. DeathTramp comes back a couple of days later, and she was really trying not to destroy the thing. She says, I wanted to make something useful and beautiful and filled with love. I tried a pen, screwdriver, and the screws are stuck in there with glue. I didn't mention this in the OP, but this bitch is a refurb. So therefore, to please the goons, I'm going to rip it open with a screwdriver and turn it into the abomination that you all seem to think is best. I'll be back with pictures ASAP. May God have mercy on its soul. While we're waiting, a prophecy appears. Just pour gasoline on it and stuff it with fireworks and light it on fire. A beautiful fire. This was posted by Supreme Allah on June 12th, 2011. We're seeing a lot of, with the benefit of hindsight, a lot of very prophetic posts coming through, which might hint where we're coming to. Unfortunately, DeathTramp never succeeds. DeathTramp actually doesn't come back from this post. She went to
OP disappears?
her Home Depot and buy screw. She doesn't disappear. She comes back and goes, I brought screwdrivers and they don't work. And she's banned. She actually, like, the moderator is like, okay, I'm bored. You've come up with like 6 different excuses now why it's not going to work, and you're not even going to shit on it. Banned. So she's actually been banned and hasn't come back from this post, which is kind of sad to me. Yeah. It's like, oh, disappointing.
Come back,
however, the thread's not done. We still have quite a bit to go. Like, I sent you this, I sent you a screenshot of how many slides I had, and it's like 70 odd slides. So we're still going to be burning through it. We're actually only on to chapter 2. This is where the thread starts getting shitty.
Is that literal or metaphorical?
Yes. Unfortunately, on June 14th, 2011, Maximus Craptaculus, a great name, posts, hey, like, we're 10 pages into this thread and no one's taken a shit on it. How hard is it to drop a deuce? Like, that's why she's banned. Like, how hard is it to just shit on the thing? That would be funny. And she doesn't. So, Scavenger 101 has a Dreamcast. Doesn't know what to do with his Dreamcast. And it's like, you know, don't poop on your Dreamcast. As pointed out, it had Soul Calibur. I never owned a Dreamcast. Were you a Dreamcast kid?
I had a cousin who lived up the street who had a Dreamcast. And I would go there as often as I could to play Ready to Rumble Boxing and GTA 2, Sonic Adventure. I love the Dreamcast, but I never owned one.
Would you shit on a Dreamcast?
No.
For Forums Club?
No.
Well, the username has been printed out and stuck in a toilet. And you can kind of see where this is going, right?
I can. Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, no.
I just want... Now, we're like 2 hours later, Scavenger 101 posted, hey, I've taken an unhealthy amount of laxatives and washed them down with some Epsom salts. There's some very unhealthy sounds coming from my stomach.
Yeah, I bet.
I may die from this, but I promise my last act will be to post pictures of whatever comes out of me. Pray.
Bro, oh my God.
So,
oh no.
A warning. I've got a warning slide up here to warn Johnny.
Can I
poop? Question mark.
Can I share a story really quick?
Yes, go for it.
So when there's lots of poop in this episode, so I'm just gonna get into it. When I was 17, I started having lots of bloody poops, and I couldn't figure out why. Went to the doctor, and eventually, my doctor decided I needed to have a colonoscopy. And to prepare, you have to drink this really just wretched stuff, like 2 bottles of the stuff that tasted like flat 7-Up. And I had a couple of friends come over and I downed this stuff and we were playing Melee on my GameCube. And at a certain point, I had to excuse myself because the rumblings that they speak of here, I know that feeling. I felt that. And I spent the rest of the day in the bathroom, shitting my brains out. And I was fine. I was fortunate enough to get hemorrhoids at the ripe old age of 17.
It's not a good age to get. I don't think there's any good age to get hemorrhoids.
No,
but that's not a good age.
Oh my God.
So I'm just going to jump scare you, but this is the freshly pooped Dreamcast.
That looks like
I've just used air quotes. Does this look like poop to you, Johnny?
No, it looks like watered down Bush's chili, maybe. Or
you have no idea how right you are.
That's what it looks because I see some ground beef. I see some beans in there. It is gross, but it doesn't look like shit.
You're not the only person to make this as a choice. Like the initial reactions are like, hey, one time I poured a post of beans on my Dreamcast as well. like everyone's like, upon further inspection, those look like beans. You shat baked beans. It's like, who shits at a 40-degree angle? So like, that's an interesting angle to shit.
Maybe they were hovering. Maybe.
And it's like, they say they had to lean because the lid on the Dreamcast was sticking out the top of the toilet.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy. Whatever you say.
And it's like, I don't care how many beans you eat. I used to eat a lot of beans. You don't shit beans?
No. Are you swallowing these beans whole? Usually I chew my food before I swallow it.
He does throw it out a window as well.
That's just...
Which is like... kind of funny. He's just like stuck it out a window. Crank It, forums user Crank It, so like we're getting some professional shit splatter analysis, right? And it's like the splatter's not consistent with normal diarrhea splatter.
Is that a real job?
There's a solid concentration of kidney beans in the back right corner. That's not what you'd expect to see. Like if you genuinely shit this would be like less concentrated with like general liquid spray around the perimeter. Like we're getting certified like Dexter as a blood splatter analysis, but for poop. It's like this isn't consistent with being shat on in the photograph location. Like demand real poo, and it's like This is beans. Like, this is like someone's like, I eat a lot of beans.
Yeah.
This is Bush's beans, and he put beans on a thing. So, where the thread is at now, right? We're into June 16th, a couple of days in. Like, we're like 15 pages into the thread, and there's 40 posts per page. We're at a lot of posts in. A GameCube has not been turned into a sex box or bong or donated or shit on, and a Dreamcast has had a can of beans put on it. This is what goons are doing in 2011. This is the kind of stuff we were doing back when I was in my 20s. This is a very wasted potential thread, right? Like,
yeah.
We've had two kind of failures. If this had been poop, we'd have been laughing. It'd have been a great time. No, it's beans. This guy's shitting beans.
Yeah, this is not the poop that was promised.
I have over here chapter 3. The thread gets shittier. With a question mark. The Mutado. Now, he does say, after this in another post, that he's playing some Mario Kart, and it was raining, so Nintendo is indestructible. Why is the Nintendo indestructible? Well, he poops on a... like, this JPEG is now dead, but he does poop on a GameCube. There is a solid log on his GameCube.
Finally.
So... Finally, and it's unfortunate, Imager has like wiped this one and replaced it with a picture of like some forest, which is unfortunate, but I wanted to find a poop picture.
Terrorists.
Those bastards. They're ruining it. Someone else also shits on a inside the slot of a PSP. So they open the back where the disc goes in and they just dropped a little log in there.
UMP.
So we're now up to very rapidly... Is it the UMD, right?
Yeah. No, UMP in this case.
UM poop.
Yep.
Ultra media poop. So we're up to 2 consoles with shit on them in very rapid, procession. And I'm not going to include an image of this because I don't want to. Like, I made an executive decision. Rancor gets an email from someone who's jizzed on a TV remote.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine receiving such an email?
Out of the blue of like, I've jizzed on a remote.
Someone shooting ropes on their TV remote. And they're going to have to buy a new one. Can't rinse that off.
No. And we're now into chapter 4. From the ashes, Dino Zombies Go. This whole chapter is courtesy of Dino Zombies Go Ra. Dino Zombies Go Ra is an infamous person on the forum. There's this long-standing thread that I will cover one day called Hulk Hogan Meat Shoes, where someone hallucinated a pair of branded shoes from Hulk Hogan that had a little pocket in the bottom of them that would let you store meat, and it would warm up the meat for you.
Excuse me?
And they were branded Hulkamania shoes that would store meat in the
That
sole.
was their original purpose? Or someone...
Yeah, and Dino Zombies Go Ra makes them real.
Okay.
And so he makes a real version of Hulk Hogan meat shoes. But Dino Zombies comes in, and his suggestion is a great one. You could buy a whole bunch of sparklers, and by a whole bunch I mean at least 100. Preferably several hundred. Remove all the powder from the wires, fill the PS2 with the powder, and use the last remaining sparkler as a wick. The beauty of this is that sparklers are readily available and super cheap. Warning, this will make a massive fountain of sparks, perhaps 8 feet tall, and can't be put out with water until it's done. Might want to light outside.
You might want to.
You might want to. I reference a PS2 because Rancor's popped up saying, hey, I've got a PS2, what should I do with it? So Rancor makes an appearance, and Rancor wanted to fuck up this PS2. He tried to fill this request, but he'd been waylaid. He sent the sparklers to the wrong street.
Ugh.
Excuses, in my opinion. So
Yeah.
Dino Zombies Go Ra does it himself. He has a $5 PlayStation 1.
Wow.
Which, again, you're never going to find a PlayStation 1 for $5 these days. But fuck, dude. And $20 worth of sparklers. And on a quick count, that's like 20 packs worth of sparklers.
That's a lot of fucking sparklers.
Here's what it all looks like separated. It is a big plastic bag, like full of
Thermite.
whatever a sparkler is. It's magnesium mostly, I believe. It's written on there, brought to you by somethingawful.com. He has some water and a fire extinguisher, and it's on a concrete base. Safety third, team.
2, those look like liter-sized bottles of water?
Yeah, and inside an old McDonald's cup, he's stuck in a couple of sparklers as a fuse. There's a lovely sacrificial frog. And all of that, I believe it's magnesium and some other stuff.
The lighter has a anime lady on it. This is just...
It does. This is like a perfect snapshot of Goondom and a massive fountain of sparks.
Oh, man.
We have, like, RIP PS1, you're now worth a couple $100, I think, off the top of my head. This thing is fucked. And it's like, dog. Great. Now we're up to, like, what? 2 shit-on consoles, a jizzed remote, and 1 torched PS1. Yeah. This thread's great.
It's going some places.
We haven't even gotten to the finale, which we are approaching with, like, rapid speed. Things kind of escalate. Like, the thread's now like, oh my god, this rules, and people, like, piling in. Like, this is one of the great things about the forum, is people, like, notice something happens that's really funny. And they're like, oh, yeah, let's go. Like, and can start encouraging each other and ginning them all up.
This is where maybe some doubling down happens.
We double down. I've subtitled Chapter 5 as, you should have donated that dead goat to some...
Oh boy.
Rancor. Now, I mentioned Rancor at the start. Rancor's been a king of this thread. He keeps hopping up with great ideas. He was going to load the black PS2 that he had and was referencing with black powder and watch it burn. If he can find ingredients. He won't make much, but he'll do it. He'll do it by next weekend. If he just has to order stuff from online, I'll post the transaction record so we can get a date set. There's an emoji that he's got down there called Tox, and a Tox clause is where you say, something will happen, or I get banned. Like, the most infamous Tox scenario was when people were toxing themselves over who would win the election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Oh. And so many people were Tox clausing themselves over Hillary Clinton getting elected.
You know what? We all toxed ourselves back then.
So, but Rancor has toxed himself, saying, I will do this or I will be banned. He's given himself a challenge, and moderators still to this day will abide by Tox clauses. Rancor states sucks on fireworks. He's making some thermite, though.
Oh, good.
He just needs a buddy to show up with his scale, so he can get the proper mix of thermite. Kids, thermite's really easy to make. Don't make thermite.
Yeah.
You can Google what thermite needs to be made, but don't make it. It's very easy to make.
If you've ever seen the show Breaking Bad, thermite is used for some cool stuff in that show, and they explain where you can get it from.
Very ominously, he also says he has a propane tank.
It's that. I'm sure that won't
There's
come up.
There's so many ominous signs. Like, I'm reading through this thread, and it's like that one, like, siren from the animated Spider-Man movie where the Predator turns up, like his uncle. It's like, and I'll put it over, like, I'll in post.
And
it
like, was
the alarm siren.
It seems like an afterthought almost too, because he says, "Oh, I've got a propane tank I'll use." Like,
yeah,
just
like,
he might not have even mentioned it if he hadn't.
Well, there's a reason it's an afterthought, because Rancor's on the do not fly list for some reason.
Okay.
He's got, you know, Rancor's got some issues. Rancor likes explosives. These are the bombs Rancor's made.
Yeah.
Rancor's made a pretty two decently sized black powder explosives.
And they're sitting on a bookshelf.
There's pictures here for those that aren't looking at the visual guide. They are on the bookshelf. And so, like, there's books for scale here. They're like half the height of a regular paperback. So these are pretty big bombs with, like, sparklers stuck in them. And his plan's coming together. Did y'all know live goats are 3 times the price of a chicken, and that live chickens cost less than a dinner meal at Arby's? So I'm thinking about getting a goat or a chicken. With a chicken, you get a bonus video of it running around with its head cut off, neck flapping around. Also, the roadkill in my area is freaking good, so roadkill might not be the way I can go. So if I get a goat, I feel like I'll name it before we kill it and cook it with thermite.
Oh.
So he's planning to go out and buy livestock.
I'm gonna buy a
which
goat.
I think's a little sociopathic.
Oh, saying that you're gonna buy, name, and kill a goat and then cook it with thermite
for a forums thread.
Yeah, to impress some other goons.
Internet forum.
This is. Yeah. I'm so scared.
Like, he would kill it. Like, his logic is goats are raised with cooking in mind. That chickens are chickens. Like, they're like, it's not like, and he says, this is, again, I think this raised, like, something's, that put it on my best Hank Hill voice, like, that boy ain't right. But he's not like he's going to get drunk and, like, sodomize them with thermite. He's going to do it quickly and cleanly. And it's like, stuff them with thermite and then grill it to taste with thermite.
To taste with thermite, which burns at, I think, a couple thousand degrees Fahrenheit. I don't know.
And I still think that boy ain't right.
Yeah, that boy ain't right.
And, like, the corporate says, like, this thread's going the way of the Waco massacre, and Rancor's just bursts in with, yes, it's the Waco massacre, but with thermite.
This is some more of the doubling down, I see.
Like, we're at June 29th, right? We're still in the month of June. Like, with now 3 destroyed consoles in, and we're ramping up. July 10th, like, he's still waiting. He's bought a little reprieve. His explosives are still coming together. But he's found a wombat on the side of the road as he was heading to work this morning. He didn't pick it up as he was on his bike. So tonight, like, he was waiting for something to explode. He's got the explosives, but he was waiting for a goat or a chicken. But now he's got roadkill wombat.
Okay.
So he's gone back and picked up the wombat and brought it home. A man in a silver Buick followed him home, and he slowed down when he parked and watched him. And he knows he's followed him because Rancor, like, took 2 wrong turns and, like, did, like, a loop around to make sure that he was being followed.
Well,
so he's being followed.
Maybe this person wants to know why you're hauling a dead wombat
roadkill
on your bike.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't think about it too hard, but obviously, like, someone's like, why is this weird guy, like, stopped and, like, picked up a dead wombat off the side of the road? That's probably criminal, right?
Yeah. What unsavory things are you planning to do to this wombat? Oh no.
It's the day.
I didn't like that sigh.
Yeah. On my way to do the blow up. I'll edit into this post unless there's a bunch of posts after this one. That's 11:03 on July 10th, 2011. And he's not really worried about getting injured. He's got 2 plywood sheets to set up. Like, 50 feet away should be far enough, right?
You know what? I honestly don't know, but... Oh!
3 hours later, I'm gonna, like, say it as he's typed it. At hospital, lost fingat, post mote later. And it's that phrase that's burned into my head, and I reference it so much in my group chats with my friends. It took, 11:03 to 3:59.
This
at hospital, lost fingat, post mote later.
Rancor, what have you done, buddy? You permanently wounded yourself.
Rancor's lost the pinky.
Oh.
Drugs kicking in soon. More pics after I go home. Here's the picture.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
That pinky gone.
That's just melted. It looks like blackberry jam.
It's charred off.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a gone pinky, and it's like, yeah, like, there's more pictures that come up of, like, some more pictures that their friend took of the explosions. But yeah, like, we have someone who's lost the fingy permanently off of this. They've lost the fingat.
My fingat is gone.
Yeah, lost fingat. Fingat, lost fingat.
That's I mean, okay. Of all the fingers to lose, though, I feel like,
I don't know. Samurai, like, famously cut off their pinkies and then more fingers, because that's the one that gives you control over a sword. Like, that's the pinkies where you get a lot of your extra manual dexterity from for, like, holding stuff as a full hand. It's like that little extra fine detail. So I don't know. He's never going to be able to wield a katana at full capacity anymore, which is what's important in the modern day.
Yeah. I mean, we're all going to be wielding swords again soon, so that's...
I think so, as we go into, like, the techno-neo-feudalism that the current US government wants us to go to.
I'm going to start wielding...
We're going to be going back to swords versus hunter drones.
Yeah, I've got... I'm going to get a pink katana like I have in Cyberpunk, and I'll be ready.
Excellent. So, like, there's posts here, like, the immediate reactions, like, this thread is one of those examples. This is one of those times where you're going, this is why I spent $10.
Absolutely.
This is why I dropped $10 on this forum. Like, Shine on, Rancor, you fucking genius. You've lost a fingy. Where is Rancor? I guess is going to be the question. Rancor hasn't posted since 2014. They still stick around for a couple of years. They haven't posted for quite a while. So I hope they're doing okay. Is genuinely the thing. And a lot of this, like, I'll go through and I'll see these threads and these people have, like, posted. Like, Grover hasn't posted on Something Awful for years. The guy that made the Doom bathroom, that's another one of my episodes, he popped up recently to confirm that he does own a Cybertruck. But before then, he hadn't posted for years. Like, a lot of these OPs just kind of go away. Likely thing for Doom bathroom guy to own, by the way. So, Rancor detonated the Thermite/Wombat roadkill PlayStation 2 Pyre and lost a fingat in the process. It's the summary. Commentary courtesy of Fired. I get a lot of these little Fired notes because Fired will always comment on what other dumb shit the forum is doing and laugh from their little ivory tower of shit posts. It's like, hey, what kind of fucking idiot plays with explosives because of an internet forum? Is really the summary of today. And Johnny, do you have any thoughts on what kind of idiot would play with explosives on an internet?
Yeah, Something Awful posters, goons. This from what I've learned,
a really fucking cool one.
Yeah.
A really fucking cool one.
Yeah. This guy lost a fingat for internet clout.
For posts. Like, God bless. Semper posts. Always be posting. That's the thread. Like, we go through, we have
oh my God.
DeathTramp comes in and is like, hey, what do I do with a GameCube? They fail to do anything with it. So other goons step up and go, I'm going to shit on a GameCube. I'm going to shit in a PSP. I'm going to jizz on a remote. I'm going to set a PlayStation 1 on fire. And then I'm going to find Wombat Roadkill and explode a PS2 and my fingat with it. All in the space of 60 pages. And it's a condensed summary of some of the stupidity of Something Awful. That I love. It's
incredible.
Escalation. It's the escalation of conflict, right? Where someone's like, how do I top this other dumb thing, all for reputation on a forum? Now is the time where the story has been told and you've learned, hey, don't blow up PS2 with thermite.
Don't send pictures of jizz on a remote to somebody. Just maybe don't do that.
Don't do that either, kids. That's not fun. But I throw it over to you, Johnny. Do you have any thoughts about GameCubes and fingats? And while you're there, do you have anything to plug? What's going on?
Yeah, I would say, you should treasure your GameCube. Don't promise to take a shit in it if you're not going to take a shit in it, because then someone loses a fingat in response. You can find me hosting at Culture Dumpster. The website is culturedumpster.com. I also put some blog posts up sometimes. You can follow me at drvinkman.com and at culturedumpster.com on Blue Sky.
Thank you. So
thank you.
I've got my website that everyone will possibly know. All of my details are in below. For my Patreon, I have after I finish recording this, I'm going out into the lounge with my microphone and cameras, and I'm going to start recording a video episode for Patreon where I'm cooking what can only be described as like an anti-Semitic chili.
Oh. Yep.
So that's going to be my Patreon episode for this month. I do one Patreon episode a month that I try and make interesting, and I do bonus artwork there as well. This thread really sums up some of the stuff that I end all of my episodes with a particular phrase. And this was coined by Lotax. Under no circumstances you have to hand it to Lotax, but I'm going to send everyone off into the night with like the phrase that I do with every episode, where you really shouldn't forget that the internet makes you stupid.